Hello again, YouTube land. I don't know why, but when I tried to record this on Monday, the sound just went complete wonko. And 2 minutes into it, decided I didn't want to record anymore. So that's what I get for not double checking before I try to upload. The piece should be titled Shifting Realities, or Shifting Perceptions. I still haven't decided. It's been a week. But the point of this posting was that over the last couple of weeks, I've been having one of those incredibly self-analytical, self-reflective kind of time shifts in my head. Because over the years, I've noticed things about myself, about how I perceive things, and I realized that my sense of time, like all humans I would imagine, is affected by how I see myself chronologically. And as someone who studies human behavior recreationally, I'm not an anthropologist, but I'm a people watcher, there are perceptions of each age group, be it delivered to you socially, culturally, by media, by literature, which could be called a form of media. There are certain ways certain age groups are supposed to act, and it does change based on gender distinction lines, which nowadays are much, much more notably different and twisted. Twisted is not a bad thing, mind you. I'm sure there were people who were transgendered, and I'm sure there were people who were gay going back thousands and thousands of years, but modern technology and science have gotten to a point where we understand that's what's going on, and it's not that there's anything wrong with them, it's just them. But for each age group, specifically is what I'm talking about, age group, not gender, you're supposed to act a certain way, you know? There's the childhood years, there's the teenage years, there's the wild 20s, the calmer 30s, the middle-aged 40 to 60 is the new bracket, and then there's grandparent 60 on. And there are definitions for these groups, and I find myself realizing that I now understand better why it looked to me growing up like my dad was never an adult. Because realistically, I knew my parents were adults, obviously. I mean, I was the child, they were the parents, they had to be adults. That's what you learn. But as I got older, I realized adult is a floating definition. I mean, the only real quantifier to adult is your age. It has nothing to do with maturity, it has nothing to do with wisdom, it has nothing to do with knowledge, because there are plenty of savants who are genius-level intellect who are 10, 12, 15, 20 years old, you know? And it really kind of struck home for me around the age of 20 that my dad just never grew up. It felt like he never grew up. He never acts his age. In my lifetime, I don't think he ever has. Because it wasn't until I hit the age of 25 that I realized why. At some point in your life, everyone, I think, has this experience. At some point in your life, you stop aging in your head. Your body is going to keep maturing. Chronology is chronology, and the aging process is going to do what it's going to do. But in your head, there comes a point, whether or not you're aware of it, that your conscious and your subconscious kind of go, whoa, hold the phone. And that's how you see yourself for the rest of your existence. And it's a great deal of how you present yourself for the rest of your existence. Some people can help it, some people can't. And my dad, I figure, hit that point somewhere around 20, 22, something like that, because he doesn't act his age. He's now a couple decades older than that. And he's never acted like he was any older than 20-something. As a kid, I found that strange. And as I got to be an adult myself, it kind of made more and more sense to me, because the most significant traumatic event in my lifetime thus far was my mother dying when I was 16. And I had been forced to mature and learn how to function as an adult, or at the very least in the adult world, most of my life up until that point. So between the age of 16 and 20, my sense of self locked. So despite the reality that at the end of this calendar year, I'll be turning 30, by the end of this calendar year, I should say, which is still somewhat painful to say out loud. Despite that, in my head, I never quite hit my 20s. I stopped at that end of the teenage years range. So in my head, it gets confusing because people treat me like I'm the age that I am, you know? I'm 29 right now. I'm turning 30 this year. People see me, and to them, I look like a somewhat plus-sized 30-year-old, 30-ish old female. And there's a part of my brain that accepts that that's what they should see, and that is how I'm seen. But the rest of my brain is giving me this chaos static, like, what, you're not 30, what are you talking about? You know? It's like this base panic. I don't know if you can hear that, but that's our living room radiator. It's been having exorcist-type seizures for a while now. I have to call the super and let him know it's still doing it. The rest of... Oh my god. See, this is how chaotic life is. Okay, you know what? I'm going to leave it at that, and when I have this better worded, I'll update you.